It's been a while. This is technically, quote unquote, my official first YouTube live. Official. So just wait a little bit before I get started. It's just been a little minute. Who's ever in the building, I appreciate you being there. I understand everybody doing their personal thing, so we're just gonna go on and get started. So I just want to officially say, all right, everybody, welcome back. And today, what I want to talk about is transitions. I want to talk a little bit about transitions as well as transformations. When we talk about any type of transition, whether it's a transition from kindergarten to the first grade, whether it's from, you know, not being married to being married, or transitioning from high school to college, there's always some type of shock and awe. There's always some type of shock, and there's always some type of awe. What is shock and awe? Shock and awe is a war tactic that's been used for basically centuries, where um, the enemy gets surprised by what's going on, and they get overwhelmed by other armed forces coming against them. So that's the awe, the shock of what's happening, and the awe of actually what's transgressing, of them being annihilated. Um, but in the realm of which we speak in, when we talk about shock and awe, I can remember the first time I transitioned from kindergarten to the first grade. I actually remember the day my mom dropped me off. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. We was driving on we was getting off of a bus, got off the bus, we started walking to the school. Um, she kind of tricked me. Once we got to the school, she said, "It's your new school. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'll be right back." She handed me to the teacher and didn't come back till later. And I start crying. And then when she picked me, I just was looking at the door, wondering when she was gonna pick me up all day long. And when she finally came, I was happy. The next day, I expected it. Then after that, it was eh. Then after about a week, it was bye, mom. But in any type of transition, whether it's getting out of a relationship or whatever, there's always some type of shock and there's always some type of awe. The key to your development, or the key in your progression or regression from the situation, is going to depend on the capabilities you had to cope with the shock and the awe. What do I mean by that? Let me take somebody who's been living with a married couple. Let's say if somebody had a mother and father that's been together, let's just say 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Let's say they're a teenager. They've been together 15 years. But throughout that 15 years, that individual is able to model, watch, mimic, learn, and pick up information from what married couples do. You know what I'm saying? Like tell each other they love you 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. Constantly give each other kisses, constantly give each other hugs, constantly give each other affection throughout the day. Now, somebody in a single parent household, that might have multiple baby fathers or whatnot, or baby mamas, either one. Um, but is always in a bitter type of situation, they might not see that. They might not have grew up on that, and they might not have that in their household. So those children won't see that. So if those children went over to the other person's house and saw that, wow, these people really love each other. When we talk about transformation, you have to get over the shock and awe. You have to get over the fear. Basically, what it is fear. Fear is one of the biggest life killers, that exist. Fear so cold, it ain't even gotta have nothing there. Fear the unknown. It ain't even gotta have nothing there. And you will make something up in your head to attune yourself to the fear vibration. Why? Mainly because we've been conditioned to do that, with the movies we've watched, the stuff we've seen on TV, the subliminal vibrations they send out to us, the way we being treated, things of that nature. You develop a sense of fear. So you become skittish. Some people allow fear to control them. A lot of people become um, part of a religion based on fear. They fear they don't want to go to hell. Now, explain this to me. I'm just curious myself. Somebody that has never heard about any type of God but their own in their own country, and they've been thriving and doing well on their own. Never had fear of their God. They just focused on what they needed to do to quote unquote make their God happy. Then you have some missionaries come along with their religion and they tell these people, oh my God, if you don't follow our God, you're gonna, I don't want to say because I don't want to, um, you're not gonna be able to be in good graces when you die. I'm gonna put it that way. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is these people that had no knowledge of that information starts to develop fear because it's been transformed from one person to another, taken from one person to another, transgressed from one person to another, and they constantly fed them. Did they feed them something real? No, they fed them something intangible, which is an idea, but on a molecular state, quote unquote, all they did was transfer fear energy from them to you, especially if they really believe it, they're gonna harness that vibration and transfer it to you, just like you was making a phone call. Oh my God, Johnny got hit by a car. That gets transferred. Oh no, when did it happen? Now she's feeling what she's feeling. It's the same thing. They just use a pulpit, or they just use a mosque, or they just use whatever. There's no religion specific, and I'm not downgrading any religion, but what I'm saying is if a religion needs to use fear as their main source of motivation for you to become part of it, fear is not a healthy emotion. That's not a healthy vibration. So why should you harness that as being how you live your life? That don't make no sense to me. Help me understand it because I don't. That's a trick. But transformation. One thing for sure, two things for certain. Change will happen. You could plant a blade of grass. That same sprout could grow grass every year, but it's not the exact same blade. It's either getting cut, damaged, fall down when it's gonna die every year because of the rotations of the seasons. Just because something had the same source don't mean it's gonna produce the exact same thing. What are you talking about? Why are you bringing that up? Because when you transform, you still have the same vessel. The main thing that changes is how you enhance or de-enhance that vessel. Let's take your body and your brain. Every day you got 24 hours to live. Every day you got 24 hours to, do what you need to do. Are you feeding your body and your brain? Or are you killing your body and your brain with no movement, no exercise, bad food, things of that nature? Or are you feeding your body and your brain? How your health is 5 and 10 years from now is going to determine what you do now. It's going to determine what you transform into. Back in the day, everybody had their high school body. 20 years later, what you looking at? How did you maintain? Some people look better. Some, the people that was fat in school, they look better. Some people that was skinny in school, they in shape. Some people look the same. Some people add up. Which one are you? And if you are add up, go do something about it. We're not just gonna write you off until you write yourself off. Then we just gonna hit you with the, you know what I'm saying? Catch you on the next vibration. Maybe. Hopefully not, because we're gonna vibrate it past you. But that being said, I just wanted to touch base on transformation and transition. If you're looking to transition or have some type of transformation in your life, you need to get equipped. You need to get equipped with the right information for what you want to be. If you're looking to become something, you need to know what it is. So that means you need to do some research, you need to study, you need to know. I'm gonna give you an example. I teach kids in school, and I always put up, the type of professions they want to do when they graduate. And a lot of them put nursing. Why? Because I hear people say nurses make money, this, that, things of that nature, which nurses do well. But the first thing I ask the kid is, okay, well, you know how long you got to go to school to be a nurse? No, but you want to be a nurse. Yeah. Well, do you know how much nurses make? Well, I heard they make a lot. Well, what's a lot to you? You know, like, do you know the exact number that they make roughly about? And do you know how to do research? No. So basically, what I do is I take them through, first of all, what it takes to become a nurse. Also, I allow them to investigate it. And I also have them do a report on nursing. And usually after that activity, they come back. Some kids, they still want to do it, and it actually motivates them more because they want to become educated and separate themselves from their peers and things of that nature as far as their professional life because they come from rough times. But um, you'd be surprised. Some they get deterred and say they don't want to go to school for 4 years. It used to be 2 years. You could still get the LPN. You could still get your 2 year RN, which you would still make money. But now they're requiring quote unquote 4 years, and pretty soon it's gonna be masters, and pretty soon you're gonna have to go to medical school to be a nurse. And being close to individuals in the nursing field, they do a lot, or they take a lot of the medical load in the hospital. I'm not gonna differentiate who get what and how, but hearing it straight from the source's mouth, they take a lot of the load of what's going on in those hospitals, which means if something go wrong, they get a lot of the load of the blame as well. So, but that being said, you want to become equipped with information to what you want to transform into, not only to prep yourself to become that thing, but you also need to prepare your mind for the new you. What does that mean? Hypothetically, let's say you become a nurse. Let's say you come from the hood where you making close to nothing. And you say you working part time, but usually when you're in nursing school, you usually can't work because the curriculum is so rigorous. So um, let's just hypothetically say you found a way to go to school, or you could just focus on school and you don't have to work, but you got kids, so you still got to manage your household. It's gonna take a lot of growth and transformation for you to be a mom, If you a girl, if I'm just using this example, if you're a female, if you got a dude, if you're gonna be a wife or girlfriend or fiance, you still got to perform your quote unquote duties as your commitment to that. Still got to clean up behind yourself. You still got the schoolwork, and you got your test you're gonna have to take at the end, which you got to study for heavily. So you have to understand what you're getting yourself into, because it's a lot of people out there that go to school for nursing and get the degree, but they don't pass they tests. So that's a whole nother beast. So what am I saying in so many words? You have to prepare your mind to become sharper than it was. You have to create new habits such as study habits, time management, and things of that nature. When you get into that profession, you have to pay attention to details, because you need to know what certain ventricles are, or corpuscles, or lymph nodes, or which lung, if the lung is punctured, which side do you put the hose in. Like, you need to know that stuff. So you got to study, and you have to keep studying. So you have to understand what it takes. And also, when you become a nurse, you get licensed, with the state or multiple states if you choose to, with reciprocity. Um, but the biggest thing, though, in nursing is you say an oath, you declare an oath. And that oath and I don't know the oath, but at the end of the day, it just basically means where you're needed, you will help. And I've seen nurses, during a football game, somebody short of breath, and the nurse, "Choo, go help them." It's the oath. I guess it's the same as a cop. He take that oath to protect and serve, and he see somebody off duty, he gonna do what he do. But to end, once you've transitioned, you have to understand what else come with it. Some people ain't gonna like your transition. Some people gonna want you to stay the same, especially if you got a bunch of ignorant friends that don't want to do nothing. And I'm not downgrading, because that's where I come from. But if they're not willing to elevate their vibration, I ain't saying don't be cool with them, but you have to consecrate yourself. For those that read the Bible, consecrate. When Jesus consecrated himself away from his boys, he went to go pray to God all night, get away from his boys. He had to get away from everybody to do what he needed to do. Basically, what he had to do was get away from everybody to go meditate. He had to go meditate and tap into the higher power, to the higher vibration. And in order for you to tap into your higher vibration, you got to meditate. You got to get away from them folks. Meditation doesn't necessarily mean, oh, 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 which ain't nothing wrong with that. But it basically means you go focus your inner energy on a higher source. And that's what Jesus did. So you're going to need to do that, whether you praying to God, you know what I'm saying? Whether you praying to Buddha, whether you praying to Muhammad, whether you praying to the universe. You just basically going to tap in, and you're going to need that strength. The thing that I want you to understand, though, is this: once you tap in and you keep tapping in, you're going to get elevated. Well, I ain't going to say gonna, it's up to you. Usually, if you continuously that flow, you usually get elevated to your next levels. And in doing so, if the people around you ain't doing it, y'all gonna start being unequally yoked. And that's that verse when it say, be not unequally yoked. Because you gonna start seeing things way up here, and these people gonna start seeing it down here. Y'all unequally yoked. Y'all gonna start seeing stuff different. And guess what that's gonna do? That's gonna cause some problems in the relationship. So you got to be ready for that smoke. And then you might understand, like, well, this person with me don't even want to grow. So do I stay with this person? And women are usually quicker than men to say, my needs aren't getting fulfilled. Bye. They hit that once they, like I told you, once they hit that light switch, it's over. So men, we more apt to kind of keep the status quo if it's good to us. But women, they about progression. You know, that's how the universe built them. Like they about progression. So once you graduate and do what you need to do, or whatever you're doing, receive, receive, receive you receiving the vision that you had from the beginning, the plan that you put forth, the steps that you took, the energy that you use, the lack of sleep from studying, the lack of sleep from the kids, the sacrifices with your time. You was only given so much time in that 2.5, 3 year period that you took for your 2 year degree. Or if you went for 4 years, you probably went for four, 4.5, some five. But you're only given that energy at that moment at one time, and you chose to use it to focus on a goal. And congratulations. So big yourself up and reward yourself once you accomplish your goal. And don't wait on nobody else to be proud of you. Be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Say good job. Receive that degree or that certificate as you walking across that stage and give yourself a kiss. Say, ah, ah, I did it. Especially if you was the one writing all them papers and doing all that studying, regurgitating all them bones of the body and had heart valves work. But that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end. Um, Again, be fruitful in your transitions and be fruitful when you transition. And don't let nobody sour your grapes. That being said, till next time, Philosopher A.D. Jones. These.